take kind of easy and don't do all of my hardest elements. And sure enough, the last one, and I'd landed several before, the last one I didn't really commit to, and I came out forward and slammed right on my hip where I hurt it. But today I'm meeting with the doctor, and I'm going to get it massaged out and looked at and worked on, so I should be semi-fresh for tomorrow.
Right, Lynn, right behind you there.
Very basic question, just which hip was it exactly?
The right hip. And I don't know the actual term for what it was, but it's kind of hip butt.
Johnny, you've taken a few risks. Some of the photographic things you've done, excuse me, one of them recalled Carl Lewis posing in high heels for Pirelli. Why did you decide to take those risks, and what has the feedback been like?
It depends which world we're discussing. In the skating world, some people are supportive of kind of the fashion choices I've taken, and some people are not. But in the fashion world, I've been accepted very much for being an individual and being someone that can transcend just figure skating and break into a different kind of entertainment world. The pictures, people often forget, especially with the Black Book pictures, if nobody else knew what he was talking about. The Black Book pictures I posed in high heels for one picture, and there was a really cool Gucci mini dress that they wrapped around my waist, and I didn't have it all the way on, so it wasn't a drag picture, and I didn't have crazy makeup or anything, but it was just an interesting artistic view of how to model the clothes. And there are stylists that actually choose the clothes. And it's not as if I went in and said, oh my God, I want heels, and I want fur, and I want glitter, and I want you to make me up to be like totally like Amanda Lepore, and I want to be crazy. It's not like that at all. I went in and I was like, okay, what are you putting me in today? And they showed me a bunch of different outfits they pulled. There was a lot of crazy stuff. Just one thing was like a wrap that goes around your midsection and your chest, and it was something like a spider web. But there were a lot crazier things than the heels that I was in that day. And I think the picture in the heels was great. I think it's very interesting, it's very artistic, it's not gaudy and it's not campy. It's just kind of me modeling a pair of shoes and a garment. It's not so much that it was a dress and heels.
Thank you, Johnny. What has been the general reaction to those who know about the Jesus theme?
The Jesus theme, people tend to think that it's a portrayal of Jesus himself. And the actual story of the program is kind of inspired by the story of Jesus. The beginning of the music is very soft and very pure with children chanting something. And it's very soft, and it's supposed to be kind of how Jesus came and made his ideas and started helping people. And then the middle section is very strong, and there are drums and very kind of Middle Eastern theme music, and it is kind of like the battle with being able to say what he wanted and being able to show people that you don't have to do it his way, but he's giving you another way of thinking, another way of believing in something. And then the second slow section is kind of his last breath, his last chance of being able to say something and showing how kind he is despite being hated on. And then the end section is his final walk up the mountain and people spitting on him and beating him. And then at the end of the music, if you could hear it, there's one last breath. It's just, and that's supposed to be kind of the death of the thought of what Jesus was all about and spreading his word and spreading his message. So in no way am I portraying the actual entity of Jesus. I'm just portraying a very common story of his life.
Yeah, Johnny, the choice of the music and the photo clearly could be considered risky choices. Are you drawn to that kind of thing? Do you like being out there on the edge and whatever you do?
The fashion world is something I'm very interested in and something I wish to pursue when I'm done skating. I'm not going to be a figure skater my whole life, and I'm not going to be competing at nationals my whole life. So I'm starting to look at options of what I might like to do after, and fashion world has embraced me, and it's something that I want to be involved in. So of course I'm going to try to push it and get into the world a little bit and meet as many people as possible and do as much as I can. And it is risky to try to multitask and do skating, and that's a pretty ringtone, to do the skating and to pursue something else. It's very difficult. Sacha Cohen, for instance, and the acting and skating, it's hard to pursue two passions at once. But the risks I've taken, it's natural for me. It's something people ask me to do. I didn't go to Black Book magazine and say, I want to pose for you in heels. And I didn't ask Heatherette to have me walk in their fashion show, which I'm doing again in February. I'm asked to do these things, and if my schedule permits it, I'll do it just because it's something that's fun for me. And the music is just an interesting concept, an interesting idea to push myself forward and to make myself better. And it has nothing to do with anybody else. It's just something that I wanted to do and something I wanted to try. And as far as being drawn to things that are controversial, of course it's more exciting to walk in a fashion show or portray Jesus than to sit at home and learn how to or play the story of Jesus. And it's more fun for me than sitting at home learning how to play the piano and skating to straight up Nutcracker or something like that. So I want to do things that are interesting. I don't want to be stagnant and always do the same thing over and over again.
Go ahead, Joanne.
What does your shirt say, Johnny?
I actually don't know. I'm feeling the Japanese theme for this week because I want to go to Worlds in Tokyo, so I've packed all my Japanese stuff.
Also, since you're being so honest and open here today, what was your reaction to Mark Lund's comments on Nancy Kerrigan's programs about you, and if you had any?
I've actually never met Mark Lund, and I wasn't aware of anything that had been said or any programs because I've been in my nationals bubble of training and going to sleep and eating, and that's all I've been doing. So I wasn't made aware of anything, and I can't comment because I haven't really seen it. And in no way am I saying no comment, because when I do see it, I'm sure I'll have things to say to all of you. But I just know that it was mean-spirited, and that's not something that really matters to me or has any effect on what I'm doing here.
From the time after Worlds when you were discouraged and thought maybe this would be the end, to the moment when you